welcome to another booktube video from me, Lauren, from Lauren and the Books. And I've just been saying I'm a bit windswept today. I've just been for, well, I haven't just been for a walk up the beach, but look, I'm looking at David over there playing computer games. We went for a walk up the beach and I got a bit woohoo blown around. Today I'm here with my cup of tea, which I forgot that I'd made and now just rediscovered. Look at this lovely mug with all the caps on. So hot, every time, so hot. Today I'm going to be talking about the books that I'm currently reading in the month of March. Now I've got 4 books on the go at the moment, which is bizarro because earlier this week I had the mere one, but I've just got more on the go. The first one I will talk about, well, the first one I'll mention briefly, but I'm not going to go into literally any details about, is Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. I am listening to the audiobook and reading along with this. Next line I've got to, and if she does catch you there, apart from being expelled, she'll be able to guess that you've been talking to Snuffles, and this time I expect she'll force you to drink Veritaserum and answer her questions. Interesting. So listening to the audiobook of that and reading that, but I'm also listening to the audiobook of The Silence of the Girls by Pat Barker. Which I had always planned to listen to on audiobook, but after reading Circe, and I'll go into more details about this during my wrap up, but I just think that Circe is a very, very beloved Greek myth retelling that a lot of people who enjoy classics and things like that have read and absolutely adored. It just wasn't for me. I just didn't love it. I never felt pulled towards reading it, and I sort of read it, and it's very, very plot heavy, and plot is not something, oh, my glasses are absolutely filthy, I'm taking them off. Plot is not something, oh look, she's been rubbing her makeup while she's been laying on the bed. Plot is not something that I really look for in a book, but as I said, I'll go into more details about that now. So I sort of was thinking about, oh, The Silence of the Girls, am I going to also enjoy this, like, after not really enjoying Circe very much? But I've got to tell you, I'm bloody loving it so far. So it is a retelling of the Iliad. So it tells the story of the Iliad, basically, but from, instead of hearing it from the perspective of Achilles, who has, I can't remember the name of the land, Larinisus or something like that, Larinisus, who has gone to this land and essentially sacked it and killed every man there and taken the women for their own, etc. You're hearing it from Briseis, who is the wife of the former king of this place called Minos, I think his name is, and you're hearing it from her. She has now become, she belongs to Achilles now, and you're hearing it from her point of view. Now, I'm very, very much enjoying it, I've got to say. I'm really, really enjoying it, and it's very accessible. And I'd already sort of like had a bit of an inkling that this was going to happen because I'd listened to Charlotte from Time Mama Tries to Read, who's got the second mention in that much of a week. She was saying that the voices that they use sort of like northern voices, and it doesn't, it's very accessible, and that she read the book, but to listen to it is even more readable and enjoyable. I really, really am liking it. I studied classical civilization when I was at sixth form, because, if truth be told, I got chucked out of geography. So I had to take an AS level, and I picked up, I picked up Class Civ because it was the only thing available to me, and I didn't mind it, but I really wish that this had been, I wish I'd studied this rather than the Iliad. But I'm very much enjoying it so far. The 2 books that I'm actually reading, I am reading Himself by Jess Kidd. I've got to get a wiggle on with this because this is how much through I am. So I'm on page 195, and I think it's 358, so I've got just over 150 pages to read. My goodness me, I've really got to get a wiggle on it. But I'm filming this on Saturday, and Sunday night at 8 o'clock will be the live chat for this for my Patreon book club. We picked Irish authors this month, and this was the book that the Patreons picked. I'm really, really enjoying this, but I've got to get a wiggle on because I've got to have it finished, because I've got to have some questions prepped and everything. So I've actually got someone coming around, my friend Emma coming around for dinner tonight, and then I've got my parents and my sister and her husband coming around for dinner tomorrow. So late one tonight. I'm not allowed to go to sleep until I've read at least 250, up to 200, page 250, and then I've got to read some of this in the morning. But I'm very much enjoying it. So you follow Mahoney, who is a chap who's returned to a tiny place on the west coast of Ireland. No, it's not on the west coast, it's in West Cork. No, it is on West Coast, called Moulderig, and he is trying to find out what happened to his mother. Now, you find out very, very early on, literally the first page, not even the first chapter, the prologue, they traditionally call it, that his mother died quite a horrific death. And he's come back to find out what happened to his mother. His mother was, you find out, a prostitute, and people aren't really keen to help him find out what happened to her, but he comes across a sort of older actress who wants to put on a play in the it's really like cutesy, but also quite serious as well. It's a real amazing mix of stuff. I'm really enjoying it. She wants to put on a plane. She wants to make him the star of the show, and they're using this as a sort of opportunity to interview people to find out what happened to his mother. So all of this is happening, and then on top of that, Mahoney can see dead people, so he can see ghosts and spirits. He doesn't get much out of them. He says it's hard to get any like chat out of them, but he can see them around and things like that, and they say sort of like pointless things to him. And yeah, I'm halfway through so far. I've not really found out much more of what's happened to his mother, but he's certain that his mother must still be alive because he feels like he would have seen her by now. As a dead person. So yeah, very interesting. Really enjoyed it. The writing's lovely as well. So it's just the right level of magical realism for me, because I don't like anything too sort of like weird and wacky, but I really like this, like I mean, I love books set in Ireland anyway, but like I really like the normality of this sort of interspersed just with the fact that he's seen someone walking down the road and they've got a massive gaping wound at the back of their head and things like that. And yeah, it's just slid in very normally. So that is another book that I'm reading. And then the last book I'm reading is one that I started in the week but have had to put a bit of a stop on because I'm trying to get himself finished, and that is The Burning by Laura Bates. This is a new... Look, how can anyone ever hold up a book that's got foil on it and not do this? This is a new... Oh, excuse me, tea. This is a new YA book, the first fiction book that Laura Bates has written. Laura Bates has previously written Everyday Sexism and Misogynation and Girl Up, some of my favourite ever non-fiction about feminism. Just so accessible for all levels, like really enjoyable. If you know a girl, or you are a girl, like I'd say from like 19 younger, then pick up Girl Up, because it's just so fucking helpful. It's amazing. And I was really pleased and excited to read her first fiction book, which is about a young girl, Anna, who moves to Scotland to set up a new life. You find out that something happened where she lived before in Birmingham, but you're not really finding out what it is yet. Her dad also died there, not as a result of that, he was unwell. And she's moved to this new school. She's got no social media. She doesn't want any links to her old life. And as a history project, she gets set the task of researching a person of note in the area, and she finds that this tiny little line in a history book that says about somebody being what's the word you would use? Someone being sort of investigated. Seems a bit thorough for witchcraft when like a long time ago, and she finds a local historian, and that's how far I've got. I mean, I'm 100 pages in and that's how far I've got so far. It's sort of got, I feel like it's going to have good messages about female friendship and things like that. There's already like a few things that have happened in this book that I wouldn't have seen ordinarily in YA. So like girls sort of standing up to boys, and boys calling girls like thunder thighs, for instance, and then coming back at them, which ordinarily I don't feel like would happen in other YA that I've read. I don't read much YA, but the thought of reading a sort of feminist YA book is very exciting to me, and when I do get back to this, I am very much looking forward to it, because I think it's going to be really helpful, and I feel like this is going to be one of those books that I then give on to my sister to put in her library at her school, because she teaches teenagers, and I feel like this will be super helpful for people of that age, because this is exactly the sort of book I would have loved reading when I was younger, like in like person moves to a new place and is investigating witchcraft and all of that fun stuff happening on, but with a feminist twist as well, which is amazing. So yeah, really looking forward to getting more into this, but as I said, must continue with himself because that needs to be finished by tomorrow night. So those are the books that I'm reading at the moment. What are you guys reading at the moment? Itchy nose. I have to be so careful when I itch my nose now because of my nose ring. What are you doing, David? You finished? Oh no, he's still playing his football game. I thought you'd finished. He's just told me he's going to have a nap in a minute. 4:30. What time is it now?
12 minutes.
12 minutes. 12 minutes until he has his nap. So yeah, so hope you are all having a lovely March so far. Let me know what you're reading. Let me know if you've read any of these books here. And I will see you all again soon for another book tube video. Goodbye!